weekend to earn their first ever trip to the Division 6 championship game. Marian Local behind running back Mark Oddy's 246 yards, scored 47 unanswered points in routing Norwalk and returning to Canton for the first time since '03. The Tigers and the Flyers play next on ONN. On a blustery afternoon, we welcome you to Fawcett Stadium in Canton, adjacent to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's the Division 6 state championship game between Marion Local and Shadyside. Good afternoon to you. Alongside Greg Fry, the former Ohio State Buckeye, I'm Tim Bray. And it might be the smallest division, but there's certainly an immeasurable enthusiasm to bring home a championship.
Without a doubt, Tim. I think every kid that plays football in the state of Ohio, whether it's Division 1 or Division 6, wants to have the opportunity to play in a state championship game and hopefully bring one back for their town.
Well, Marion Local is on one side of the state, and of course Shadyside on the Ohio River. And I'll tell you what, these two coaches certainly have a lot in common.
They do have a lot in common. They actually know each other, but Tim Goodwood's club certainly is a veteran group. They've been here before. In 2003, they lost in the state final. They won back-to-back years in 2000 and in 2001, so they've got a great program. Now on the flip side for Shadyside, certainly Ty Fleming's club, he's got a great club as well, but it's their first time here. And ironically, both these coaches know each other. They coached together in the 2001 North-South game and actually talked a little bit earlier this week about what to expect for this week.
Well, one thing they didn't expect was the weather, and that's a huge story here today.
Well, the weather's certainly a factor. The winds are gusting anywhere from 35 to 40 miles an hour on the field. It's going to be very difficult on the passing game as well as the kicking game, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as the game progresses.
All right, stay with us. We are going to return with more as we get you set for the Division 6 championship game in a moment. You're watching ONN, Ohio's channel for high school sports. Back at Fawcett Stadium, Marion Local 12-2, Shadyside 11-2 for the Division 6 state championship game. Tim Bray with Greg Fry. Here's our stars to watch, presented by Fort Rapids Indoor Water Park in Central Ohio. First of all, Chris Stuckey, the quarterback for Marion Local, a solid year, 1,242 yards, 13 touchdowns, Greg. And what about Taylor Josephic for Shadyside?
On the season. They had a big game last week, 124 yards and 4 touchdowns, including a kickoff return for a touchdown. So he's the guy that has to carry the load today for Shadyside.
And the Flyers certainly know what it is all about. Stuckey with 46.4% average this season and 13 touchdowns. He's only a junior and a solid kid from Marion Local. The Flyers looking for him to do a lot of good things. And then, of course, Shadyside with just a great kid, Taylor Josephic, a young man who plays both ways like a lot of these kids on both sides of the ball.
He does, and he's done a great job running the ball, but he also has 5 touchdowns receiving on the year, so he's a very versatile kid. You'll see him on both sides of the ball.
And Marion Local may or may not have Mark Oddy. Ligament damage in the semis. We'll get Dave Chakowski's thoughts on that when we go down to him after we return from Canton. Let's get out, and we'll be back with more in just a moment from Canton, the Division 6 state championship game. Welcome back to Canton. Let's go to the sideline. Our third member of our group, Dave Shadowski, is on the sideline. Dave?
Guys, just talked with Coach Goodwin moments ago, and he told me Mark Oddy is going to get the start. They're going to see how he does. He was taking the rock in warm-ups. He is wearing a knee brace, however. How he does is going to be a huge key to this game. The other key, the weather, I think the flag says it all. It is very windy down here. Both coaches said before the game, it's the windiest conditions they've ever been a part of in a high school football game. Game change, plans might change in this one based on that, guys.
And here we go in the Division 6 state championship game, and Shadyside will have it first, and that is Haney, and he is wrapped up, and he'll be dropped right about the 18, make it the 17-yard line, the line of scrimmage. And so let's check the starting lineups for the Shadyside Tigers, brought to you by Donato's. Great pizza no matter how you cut it. And there are the offensive line guys. led by Jake, of course, certainly right in the middle, Jeff Campbell, and Vinny Ritchie is on one side. Kyle McElverish is the other guard. Grinch and Hammond are the tackles. And there's the first play from scrimmage from the 17-yard line, 1st and 10. And over the middle, they will throw it into the wind, and they get the ball to Michael Mentel. He's the big tight end, 6'2". He gained a few yards, and Greg, that's not too bad off the first snap.
No, not at all. They've, both coaches obviously concerned about throwing the ball. I think the short passing game is something that both coaches will have to focus on today, and that showed right away that you certainly can throw the ball.
There's the offense for Marion Local. We'll see them a little while. Here's the I formation, and they'll come to the near sideline, and here's the All-Ohio first-teamer, Josevic. Josevic brings it out for a first down, and Shadyside, all charged up, gets the first down of the ball game.
Well, it's important to set some tempo early in the game, get some confidence for your offense, and certainly you want to get a first down, at least one first down in the first series to settle your quarterback and to have some momentum.
Josevic at 1,600 yards. There's Billy Merriman, 5'10", 140-pound junior quarterback, and he will throw it, and it is complete. A little out route. No, they say it's incomplete. He trapped it. Nathaniel Haney trapped the ball, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
And Haney comes off a big week last week with 2 touchdowns. He's got 10 touchdowns on the year. We see there the second pass there by Merriman, it will probably wobble a little bit, and I think anytime you don't throw a tight spiral today, it's going to be tough to catch for the receivers.
Merriman, a 51% thrower, and they'll operate out of the gun. Going to try to set up the screen, and it is incomplete. They tried to screen the ball to Sadlowski, the fullback, 5'11" junior, Dustin Sadlowski.
You're going to see number 37, Greg Kesters, come from his linebacker position. They're trying to throw a screen here, and here comes Kesters. He forces Merriman to throw a little bit sooner. Almost completed the ball. Not quite to Sadlowski.
And Grinch and Ritchie are both out there, and they were the blockers, but didn't quite set it up, and it was because of the defense. Albright goes out wide to the right side on 3rd down from the 32-yard line. They'll go split backs this time and a flag.
Looks like Ben Schaefer might have jumped number 44 from his defensive end position.
And that'll help things out for the Tigers, who certainly came in with a great record out of Belmont County, one of the smallest schools in the state. Here's the call. And that is encroachment.
Still 3rd down.
Was he drawing off? Nope, he jumped.
Just jumped. Yep, good call.
And 3rd and 5, Tim, is a great situation. Much rather have that than 3rd and 10 early in the game.
Line of scrimmage, the 37-yard line. Just getting started, Division 6, and quick throw. Mentel incomplete.
Or fumble. He might have had it.
It depends on how many steps he took. Are they going to give it to him? Yes, they are. Fumble the football after he caught the ball, and it will be Marion Local football, and it is in Shadyside territory. Here it is again.
Looks like he has possession of it. His feet hit the ground.
Really got rocked.
And nice hit there by both linebackers there.
Well, the
looks
first
like Josh Rosenbeck, number 4, is probably the one that came up with the football.
There's a
little
good,
better angle.
Oh, yeah, good angle
here.
Yeah,
ball's out.
Dan Fortcamp was right there as well, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Marion Local. And they will try to drive the ball from the 37-yard line, and
it is Mark Oddie who gets the carry.
Mark,
some good leg drive.
Well, believe it or not, here's a young man who has some ligament damage, and here's the Marion Local starters, brought to you by Donato's. Those are the offensive linemen, led by Jake Heitkamp, who's the center, and there he is, Mark Oddie, the tailback. All he's done is gain 2,100 yards this season. He is lined up dotting the I, and they'll run the option. That is Chris Stuckey, and he gains a couple, but not too many, as he's dropped inside the 35-yard line to the 32, and led by Kyle McElfresh, on the tackle. Here's the defense brought to you by Donato's, the front four. It is a 4-4. They'll drop into a 5-2 look every once in a while. Here's your linebackers. Dustin Sadowski is a first-team All-Ohio kid. And there's your linebackers. And Josephic does play both ways.
And he made that last tackle. You can see he's all over the field for Shadyside.
So now we're at the 33-yard line. It's second down. Make it third down from the 33 and 5. Stuckey will try to throw it. Oh, I think he caught that football right on the sideline, short of a first down. Damon Bertkey on the tackle, and right there with him, Nathaniel Hanley, and this is a solid catch, but it's short of a first down by about 3 yards.
Very tight throw. He threw a little bit behind, and Haney almost got a hand on that, but a great catch, as you said, by Bertkey, but not enough to get the first down. Bertkey is 6'6", 210, senior. Got a lot of size.
So they bring the heavy package in. Adi goes out. It's fourth down, first big play of the ball game from the 30-yard line. Need to get to the 28, and they'll get it easily. Wow, what power by Ben Schaefer. The 6'1 junior just takes it up off the left side, and they'll move the chains.
Well, Tim Goodwin talked about if Mark Gotti was not going to be able to go, who's going to fill in the gap there. And certainly Ben Schaefer was one of the names mentioned. But he talked about tailback by committee, and I'm sure Mark Gotti's not going to be able to go every snap. That's a given, but he's going to try to go as much as he can.
So the junior gets the first down on fourth down, and keeps the drive alive after the fumble recovery. Stuckey looking at a four-man line, lots of guys in the box, and here Stuckey by himself, and they read it perfectly. There's a lot of orange and black over there.
Well, Vinny Ritchie and Michael Mentel on the tackle. They didn't. They stayed home there. They tried to run play action and bootleg into the boundary, and nobody home there. Or I should say everybody's home for the Shadyside defense. They were not fooled.
Not much blocking on that side by the Flyers of Marion Local. So here they come out, second down and 12. Loss of a couple on that play, back to the 27-yard line. Stuckey in the gun this time, and he'll run it himself. Tripped up. It was a big tackle that got him. McElfresh maybe a yard to the 26, and this drive is bogging down for the Flyers.
McElfresh, you see he gets penetration here. He's going to make an arm tackle, but it's enough to get the job done. Put Stuckey on the ground. The one thing that impresses me about the Shadyside defense is their quickness and the fact that they run through the football very well.
Shadyside just giving up 10.8 points per game. This is the 7th play of the drive. Third down from the 27. Again, the eye. Stuckey's going to try and throw for it. Lost the football, had to fall on it, and falling on him is Mentel. The senior's right there to pounce on the quarterback, and it's all the way back. The loss is to the 35-yard line. That's a loss of almost 10 yards.
Mentel's going to come off edge right here. Goes through a couple of blocks. Doesn't really have to put a hit on Stuckey, and Stuckey's fortunate to fall back on that ball and keep possession.
So Stuckey just lost it, and now they'll have to punt. Dan Fortcamp standing at about the 49, had to go get that ball, and it's not a bad kick. It'll bounce at the 10, down to the 5, plenty of white shirts, and they'll mark it at the 2-yard line. No score between Marian Local and Shadyside in the Division 6 championship game. You're watching the Weekend of Champions on ONN. Coming up at halftime, join Dan Decro, JJ from JJHuddle.com, and Jerry Rosinski for the Championship Game Day Halftime Show. They have all the highlights, insight, and analysis of today's game, live from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. No score as Marian Local pins Shadyside back to their own 2-yard line. And coming out of there with it is Josephic out to about the 4, and that is about all. They unpile, and Keith Seitz comes up off the stack. The 6'5 senior makes the initial stop, and that's just power football, and I think we're going to see a little bit of that today, Greg.
Well, without a doubt, both teams have to establish the run and try to win this game on the ground. Certainly the passing games are going to be reduced today for sure. But field position is also a factor, and so far, Shadyside's been backed up, starting their first 2 drives on their own 17 and now on their own 2.
Merriman brings him up again, the I formation, and he'll hand off to the first man, and there's nothing there at all. They'll drive him into the end zone, but they'll mark it back about the 4-yard line, not much at all. So Sadlowski had a little bit of momentum to about the 4, and that was it.
Greg Kesters and number 76 Keith Seitz are going to trap. They try to run a quick trap right up the middle of the fullback. Sadlowski and nothing there. Marion Local likes to be very aggressive defensively. They like to get their linebackers up in the A and B gaps and force you outside. They want to be aggressive. They want to get in penetration in the backfield.
Shadyside going into the win here in this first quarter. Quick throw and a catch out to about the 22-yard line. And out there picking it off is Nathaniel Haney. And a big-time first down and into the wind. I'm impressed.
Well, that's a huge throw by Billy Merriman. He's got pressure in his face. Marion Local comes with the blitz. He's got Haney open, does a nice job, makes the throw. He takes the hit under pressure. A lot of poise by the junior quarterback.
19 yards on the completed pass. And believe it or not, Billy Merriman is 3 for 4 in this football game. Nothing going on that play. Josephic he didn't have a hole, and he went down. Loss.
Well, nice job by number 44, Ben Schaefer, turning that one back inside. It's a quick toss sweep that you try to get the edge real quick. With Josephic not there, it's turned back inside. You also see Luke Homan in on the play.
How close was
leaned
Luke?
Up by Kesters.
Yeah, how close was Luke Homan to take
to the
that
pitch.
ball all the way to the end zone?
Right.
He had the pitch in his sights. Second down and 13 from the 19. Merriman to throw again, and once again it's complete. Far side, Haney with it. He came into the ball game with 75 catches to lead the way, but he just went down on that particular play. Third down.
Well, they're trying to throw. They've got him one-on-one in the slot, but it's so difficult to win. The ball comes low again, and Haney does a nice job holding on, but for virtually no gain.
Last week against Mogador, Merriman threw only 10 times, but he threw for 250 yards. It was a one-sided game in the semifinals, and this Shadyside team has got a lot. Merriman is going to go down at the 17-yard line, and it's Holman again, and Keith Sykes off the stack, and they head out.
Well, so far, Shadyside's done a good job picking up the blitzes, but there's always one guy coming free, and this time they don't hold it back enough. Josh Rosenbeck, number 4, also in on the sack, and Luke Holman, and they get pressure on Billy Merriman.
Loss of 4, and so that is 4th down and 15 now. The ball back on the 17-yard line. Billy Merriman will kick it away. He's into the wind, remember, and he tried to kick it low, and that ball just died into the wind. It will bounce to about the 32-yard line, and that is all. So once again, Marian Local with the field position. We thought, Greg, this would be a field position game. It certainly was there because that was just a 16-yard punt.
Anytime you have wind like this, field position is critical, and when you've got the wind at your back, you want to make sure and take advantage of that and try to put some points on the board. So far, none for either team, but Marion Local's got a chance here to maybe get some points out of this drive.
Chris Stuckey brings him up, first down. Quick pitch. It's Adi trying to cut the corner, gains to about the 30. Remember, he has some ligament problems in that right knee. They're going to evaluate it on Monday. He was hurt in the 4th quarter against Norwalk St. Paul in the semis last week.
You can tell he's just cutting it out, though. He's obviously not 100%. He's probably not 80%, but I would think any kid that's made it this far and been that much of a contribution to his team wants to play. You're going to have to drag him off the field.
Yeah, he had 30 rushing touchdowns coming into the football game. Stuckey on second down. There's Adi again. Just tries to make a cut inside the 30 to the 29. Timing's off just a bit.
Well, I think the timing's off because of the quickness of the defensive line for Shadyside. McElfresh, Vinny Ritchie, Chase Grinch, Michael Mentel, those are names we've been calling quite a bit. And Adi's limping off pretty hard now.
Yeah, and you know, he's obviously with that right knee in pain.
It's such a shame to get hurt, you know, in week 14, but he's the guy that helped bring this team here. Now everybody else has got to step up around him and pick up the slack.
So 3rd down and 7 now. Line of scrimmage to 29. Quarterback draw. Nothing going on. Stuckey is wrapped up, a loss of 1, possibly 2. And right there is Vinny Ritchie, the 5'11 senior.
Michael Mentel also in the backfield, number 21. He's the first one that almost makes the tackle. And Ritchie wraps him up and takes him down. But I'm very impressed with the speed of this defensive line. And Coach Goodwin talked about that. That was one of his concerns coming into this week, was the speed and how well Shadyside runs to the ball.
So 4th down, they're going to go for it. 8 to go from the Shadyside 30. To throw with the win, going for it all. Sent it away at the last second. What a great play by Jason Albright to knock it away from Dan Moeller. The senior was running a little skinny post right to the goal line and knocked away on 4th down. Jason Albright with a big hand.
Dan Moeller was open. He had a step on Albright, and Albright closed the gap, got a hand on it. That's how you're trained to do it. That's a big play defensively. And now Shadyside's going to get their first decent field position of the game.
Yeah, it's their own 30-yard line. Remember, they started on the 17 and also the 2-yard line. No score first quarter, just 30 seconds left. Offset eye, Joseph Vick with a blocker. But he won't be able to turn the corner. He got the shoulder pads turned a bit to about the 33. Gain of 3, but he didn't get the big yards as Kesters knocked him out of bounds.
Travis Glosserman also came up in his corner position on the toss sweep. They had a crackback block here. But number 10, you see number 10 there, Glosserman does a nice job. A little bit outmatched, but he's able to drag Joseph to the ground for about a 3-yard gain.
23 seconds to go in a quarter. It's been a very exciting football game, this Division 6 championship game. The field position has been Marian Local's advantage, but the defense has been Shadyside. They have a really quick defensive line that's dominated here early. Put a man in motion, and they'll come to the near sideline with Joseph, and he will just run over Klosterman. He did get the first down, though, as the clock continues to run with 14 seconds left here in the quarter. It's going to be short of a first down.
You've got to like the lean of Taylor Joseph, 5'11", 200 pounds senior, and he's going to take on Travis Klosterman again on that play. It puts Klosterman on his back, but Travis did make the tackle.
Joseph was 17 yards on 5 carries here in this first quarter. We have reached quarter number 1, the end of quarter number 1. No score, Marian Local at Shadyside. You're watching ONN, Ohio's channel for high school sports. Get your news 2 hours early with Ohio's only 9 o'clock news. Join Mike Kallmeyer and meteorologist Eric Elwell for the most complete wrap-up to the day's news and the most accurate forecast for the day ahead. Ohio's 9 o'clock news only on ONN. First quarter in the books and no score. There's a little intensity on that Marian Local sideline, Greg.
No doubt about that, but a big 3rd down here to start the second quarter and see if Shadyside can get across the 50-yard line. They haven't been there yet.
And pounding it up in there is Josevic, and I think second effort got him the first down. Yep, move the chains.
He's got it.
They unpile him, and Greg Kesters comes off the stack. Kesters and Holman and Diller are the linebackers for Marian Local, and Kesters has 128 tackles coming into the ball game.
A lot of Flyers were in the way of Josevic there, but he still put his shoulder down to get that extra yard. He is very powerful.
Shadyside took over the ball after a nice defensive play in the end zone. They started from their own 30-yard line. Josevic makes a nice cut, and he'll get a yardage and more. First down at the 49-yard line, and Shadyside, for the first time in the ball game, is in Marian Local territory. First down.
Great second effort there. They run a toss sweep, and Jordan Diller, number 62, turns us back inside, but the linebackers for Marian Local not there to be able to make the play and clean it up, and Josevic does what he knows how to do. He cuts it back, good job here, and accelerates, sees the seam, breaks a couple tackles. He is a load.
That's been said. Everything starts with number 40, and he's getting started now as we start the second quarter. And oh my, what an attacking defense by the Flyers. They drop Billy Merriman all the way back to his own 45.
Well, Greg Kesters again shoots the gap, right through the A gap there, unable to get picked up. And Merriman was just trying to, he had an open receiver trying to get it off, but he had no chance at all right there. Good penetration by Kesters.
Loss of 6 on the play. Gap control, very important in a game like this.
Well, it's very important, but a lot of times, you know, your protection's already locked in, and when a linebacker steps up like that late, your center and your guard have got to pick that up, and that was a little bit too late. Neither one was able to pick it up.
So Merriman back in a shotgun formation on second down and 17. Here comes the blitz. He'll fire it middle of the field, and it's overthrown. Intended down there for...
Trying to throw for Josephic.
Yeah, Josephic tried to come out of the... and he really was open coming out of the backfield.
Well, and you see that. Merriman looks left. They basically split out Josephic to the right. They put him one-on-one with Zach Rosenbeck, and they run the post pattern. Merriman looks to his left, and he comes back to his right to throw the post, and they had him one-on-one, but overthrew a little bit. Again, tough throw there. Anything over 15 or 20 yards they threw the air is a very difficult throw.
And just a quick note for you, there's nothing wrong with your TV set. The satellite dish is being knocked around a little bit because of the high winds here in Canton. So that's what's going on. There's a long throw down the field. It's incomplete. Josephic, the intended receiver, but the closest to it was Zach Rosenbeck for Marion Local.
Good job by Zach Rosenbeck staying home there. I think a little bit of mix-up there between Josephic and Merriman. Josephic pulled up out of his route about 10 yards, and Merriman threw it deep as if he was running a fade.
Last time Billy Merriman punted, it was just 16 yards into the wind. And now Stuckey and Klosterman are standing back about the 25-yard line. Let's see what he does with the wind. A little bit better. Drives the ball all the way down inside the 5-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 3. They down the ball at the 3-yard line. Marian Local will start from there, but Shadyside pins them back. John Krupka down there.
And Nathaniel Haney down there as well, too.
So those are two guys that have done a lot. 52 yards on this kick.
That's a great kick, and it's tough to judge it when you get up in the wind like that, and the wind's kind of coming across and down. And a nice job getting down there by Haney, kicking it back before it goes in the end zone.
Relevant, important, convenient. You're watching ONN.
Welcome back to Canton. We had a power outage that has lasted about 20 minutes. And Greg Fry, Tim Bray describing the action for you, the Division VI championship game at Fawcett Stadium. And that's Stuckey getting away from 1-2 and all the way out near a first down yardage. Chris Stuckey with some dancing. I don't think you've missed much. Greg Fry, it's been a very defensive-oriented game, just one series apiece, and Marian Local gets a big first down.
Yeah, there's been a lot of punts early in this game, and it's been a field position game, and Stuckey does an excellent job, a tremendous second effort to drive to get the first down by about the half of the length of the football.
2:20 to play here in this second quarter. Didn't you see his transformer blow? I thought that's what happened. Stuckey missed a handoff that time.
Stuckey goes the wrong way. I feel like one of those eyewitness accounts. You know, you see in the news. Oh, I saw the transformer blow down yonder about a mile, and honestly, I did. It was you don't see that every day. Let's put it that way, Tim.
Well, from our broadcast location, there's clearly a flash. Second down in the gold helmets, Marian Local, Shadyside, and the black jerseys, orange pants. This is the Division VI championship game, no score. Stuckey will try and throw for it. Near sideline, the out route, incomplete. Oh, that was close on the near sideline. Marcus Moeller, the intended receiver, on coverage, Nathaniel Hanley.
And he's been all over the field on both sides of the ball. He's caught some passes offensively for Shadyside, and he's does a nice job defending here. They try to throw a flag route. The ball's pretty well thrown by Stuckey, but this wind right now, it's like catching a knuckleball. You need the big catcher's mitt, the way the ball just knuckles all the way through the air.
Marian Local is 3 out of 6 on third down. This is a third down and 11. You don't like to see that from their own 39-yard line. And they'll try and run with it. Not much going on there. It's short of a first down. Ben Schaefer, the ball carrier, the junior, subbing for Mark Oddie. He got about 4. It'll be fourth down and a long 6 yards.
Ben Schaefer's doing a nice job running the ball, but the problem is that the offensive line for Marion Local, who's been very successful all year long and has got some size, especially for a D6 team, they're struggling against the speed and the quickness of the defensive front 4 and really the front 7 if you include the linebackers for Shadyside.
Josephic is back deep, and that is Greg Garrett. He's averaging about 35 yards. The last time he kicked one, and he kicked it pretty well into the wind, and that's not bad. Josephic bobbled the football, and he fell right on it. Caught me by surprise. He's such a sure-handed guy.
Well, but yet again, you and I were on the field before the game, and catching punts is so hard. I think from a coaching standpoint here, you want to tell your guys, look, if you're confident you can catch it, go ahead and catch the ball. But if not, let it go. I mean, that one hit it right between the 4 and 0. But great presence of mind, ball in the ball. Nobody gets hurt.
31 yards on the punt into the wind. And this is a ferocious wind today. It's had one power outage, and it's nice to see the lights back on.
Well, it's been a quick first half. It's the first half's pretty much disappeared. Didn't really miss much.
37 seconds to play here in this half. Josephic gets the pitch, and he is going to be swarmed. The Flyers are all over it. Kesters is there. Schaefer's there, and a loss of 4.
Turned back inside by 62 Jordan Miller from his defensive end position. They are not going to let Taylor Josephic get to the outside, and you really can't afford to with his speed, his size. And Shadyside, Ty Fleming is trying to do everything he can to get Josephic outside, but Marion Local, they've watched a lot of film. They know how good he is. They're going to make him try to beat them between the tackles.
Just 29 yards on 10 carries, and you can do the math. And that'll do it for the first half. A defensive battle. Shadyside had decent field position. Marion Local had a couple of chances. Neither could dent the scoreboard. No score at the end of the first half of the state championship game here in Division 6.
We are back in Canton. The game scoreless here at halftime. I am with OHSA Assistant Commissioner Dwayne Warnes. And Dwayne, I'll tell you, this is an interesting one here. Have you ever seen anything quite like this?
No, this is really something special. This weather is pretty brutal, but we have a great game going, a lot of enthusiasm. 2 small communities from Ohio with all of their fans here. It's a terrific atmosphere.
Tell me a little bit about your Respect the Game program. You oversee the sportsmanship for the OHSA.
Well, Dave, we feel sportsmanship is a foundation of interscholastic athletics, so we put a lot of emphasis on it at the OHSA. We're very proud of our sportsmanship program in Ohio and what our schools are doing for our young people, and we try and promote that in every way that we possibly can.
Tell me a little bit about your awards program.
Well, we have an extensive awards program. I think we have the finest awards program for high schools in the nation here in Ohio. We not only award schools, we award individuals with the Archie Griffin Award. We have Courageous Student Awards. We have Scholar Athlete Awards. We have all types of awards for our students and our schools because we really believe that's what's important about school athletics.
It's so important, but at this level, you have to believe the kids see the pro athletes and the college athletes doing some things that aren't so nice at times. Is there a trickle-down effect?
There sure is, Dave, and that's the thing we have to fight against all the time. But we're real proud of our school people. They work hard with the young people. You watch these 6 football games we have here this weekend, and you'll see great sportsmanship out there in the field, and I couldn't be more proud of our coaches and our kids.
All right, what do you think is going to happen here the rest of the way?
Well, I know it's going to be cold and windy, but I think it's going to be a great game. I don't know who scores first might win.
All right, hopefully the lights don't go out in the city again. 0-0 at halftime. We'll see you after this timeout.
Welcome back to Canton. Halftime as the Flyers and the Tigers are scoreless, and there have been a few chances, but not very many chances to score here in this first half, and it's been dictated by the weather conditions more than anything else, and specifically the wind. Tim Bray, Greg Fry back with you in the booth, but Greg, it really there was just not many opportunities, just a couple to get on the board. It was a defensive struggle.
Certainly a defensive struggle. Neither team really had great field position at all in the first half. The closest either team got was Marion Local got to the Shadyside 25-yard line. On the flip side, Shadyside only got to the Marion Local 46-yard line. So both teams have struggled. A lot of punts in this game. Ball was put on the ground a couple times by both teams, but really the defenses have stepped it up, and it's ironic because coming into this game, both offenses have been lighting it up. Shadyside 38 points a game, and on the flip side, Marion Local 33 points a game. These guys are used to scoring points. It's not happening today.
And certainly a different mindset. Let's take a look at some key plays of that first half, and Marion Local had their chances. Stuckey fumbles here, though.
Stuckey fumbles, and Mentel quickly makes the play and tackles him, and Stuckey puts the ball on the money, but knocked away at the last minute by number 15, Jason Albright. That's probably the biggest play of the first half.
And Dan
keeping
Muller,
Marion Local out of the end zone.
Yeah, Dan Muller was the intended receiver. Here's your first half statistics, and honestly, there's not much to report. 33 total yards for Marion Local and just 56 for Shadyside. Actually, Shadyside has thrown the ball into the wind pretty well.
They've thrown the ball a little bit. You see the one turnover there, which really was not a factor. That was on the opening drive for Shadyside, and Marion Local unable to put points on the board after that. But you know, it's a weird game, though. The wind, if you ask, is the wind a factor? The answer, yes. Look at the stats.
Let's go down to the sideline. Dave Shadowski. Dave?
Coach, the weather obviously a factor. I said before the game that was going to be one of the keys. What has that done to you guys?
Well, you know, it's tough conditions out here. You know, we had our chances early with the field position and the wind, and we didn't capitalize. So, you know, we're in a dogfight, no doubt.
You almost feel like this game's going to come down to a big play.
You're right. You know, that's what we told our kids. It's going to come down to one big play. You know, hopefully we can do it.
And the other key, Adi, is he done?
Yeah, he's done.
Coach, good luck the rest of the way. All right. Let's go back up to you guys.
All right, thank you, Dave, and certainly no question about the factor, the wind being the factor in this football game. Greg, I'm not sure. I got a feeling that Shadyside's going to try to continue to throw the football.
Well, I think they need to, and I think the short passing game is the key. They're going to have to throw the football because Marion Local has put so many guys in the box with 7 or 8 guys and been very aggressive defensively. So it's going to be a struggle, but they're going to have to find a way to complete the pass somehow, some way in the short passing game.
And for Marion Local, to Mark Adi, as Coach just said, he's not going to play anymore, but I think Ben Schaefer can do some nice things behind shooting or Stuckey.
Well, Stuckey's done a nice job running the football, but you know Ben Schaefer's he's filling in for Mark Adi, but it's a shame that Mark Adi can't go. You know he's brought this team this far. He tried to go in the first quarter and really did as much as he could, but he's probably 60% at the best and was banged up. So they're going to have to find a way to probably throw the ball a little bit, get Stuckey more involved, and try to open up some holes because the defensive line has been for Shadyside has been very aggressive and really kept Marion Local from running the football.
Yeah, just 9 possessions here in this first half, and hopefully we'll get a few more in the second half. We are scoreless. Tigers and Flyers. We'll be back with the second half of the Division 6 championship game from Fawcett Stadium in Canton in just a moment. You're watching the Weekend of Champions on ONN. Welcome back to Canton. We're at Fawcett Stadium, and we're set to go, Tigers and Flyers, for the second half of this football game. And we certainly apologize for all our issues, our technical issues. This wind is playing havoc, not only with the flight of the football, but with the flight of the television signal to you.
Well, we've seen it all in the first half. With the exception of any scoring, we've seen a transformer blow. We've seen a lot of wind.
Yeah, that's right. And it's blustery. I mean, 30, 40 miles an hour. And Michael Mentel is going to try to kick it into the wind, the old style, and he just barely gets a foot on it, and it is out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, and that is where Marion Local will take over 1st and 10. Let's certainly Ty Fleming knows all about the Marion Local Flyers. Here's his thoughts from the Shadyside coach.
And now this week we have a huge task ahead of us. Marion Local, as you know, their reputation out there, they're just a tremendous football team. That league alone, 8 out of the 12 Division VI champions since they've created Division VI have come from that league. So we know we're going in as underdogs, but our kids really don't think about anything like that. They just go out and play hard.
And they have went toe-to-toe with this MAC team. Certainly they have really had some great teams in the past from that league, and Ben Schaefer is getting racked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing happening right at the line. It'll be 2nd down and call it 10 yards to go.
Well, Coach has got to be very impressed with what he's got. He's got 9 guys going both ways, which we haven't talked a lot about today, but I think that's going to be a factor as the game wears on. Certainly Marion Local doesn't have many guys going both ways. When you have 9 going both ways like that, it's a factor from an attrition standpoint as the game goes on. But so far, these guys are not showing any signs of that.
Schaefer with just 20 yards on 5 carries in the football game. 2nd down. He will get the pitch this time, and he'll find some running room. And he trips as he crosses the 40-yard line. He's covered there. John Krupa makes the stop on the play, but that's actually the first crease that he's had.
That's right. You see a little bit of over pursuit here. Missed tackle by Sadlowski. Does a nice job cutting it back, getting upfield. Does Ben Schaefer. Both teams are going to try very hard, I guarantee you, to find and establish a running game in the 3rd quarter. It's critical to winning this game.
And Marion Local has the wind at their back. Splitbacks this time, 3rd down and 2, and they'll get the 1st down and a little bit more, and all the way up to about midfield. So just a little bit of a crease, not much there, but that's not bad.
Luke Coleman from his fullback position, they just run a belly play to the left side, and Shadyside can see it's coming. They overload the defense, but not enough to stop the 1st down.
So it's 1st and 10. They'll mark it at the 49. Just getting started here in the 3rd quarter. Holman is the fullback, and that is Schaefer, the tailback, and he sidesteps a man as he crosses into Shadyside territory. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Greg, I think that may be the first time since the 1st quarter that they've been into Shadyside's end of the field.
Oh, I believe that's the case, but also what I see is a push by the offensive line of Marion Local. It starts with the center, 57, Jay Kitekamp, Brian Schulte, Ian Dallinghouse, Brad Reckner, and Alex Subler. Those guys are doing a nice job, and you got to throw the tight end Damon Berkey in the mix there. They're starting to push the line of scrimmage.
So once again, it's an I formation, and Stuckey will take it himself with a little spin move, and he spins a 2nd time to gain about 5. Not a lot of room, but just enough. And because Mark Otte is out of the ball game, a little bit more pressure now on Chris Stuckey here in the 2nd half.
It's pressure, but I think from his standpoint, he feels like he's got to carry the load now. And certainly coming in, 13 touchdowns through the air and 10 on the ground. He's a guy that can do it both ways.
3rd and short. They'll go with the up man, and that is Holman. And he is to the 40. And if they mark it at the 40, he's got a 1st down.
He's met by number 42, Dustin Sadlowski from his middle linebacker position. And I think Holman twisted enough to get the 1st down. That's the case.
7th play gets a 1st down. Every play in this drive has been a running play. They'll mark it just outside the 40. This is a club that has scored 462 points this season, and they have averaged 258 yards on the ground. Schaefer again, pull this time. Outside he goes to the 30, to the 25, and to the 23-yard line. It's the biggest play of the ball game.
Just running the ISO play. You can hear the hitting all the way up here. Nice job blocking up front. He's got a nice seam. Gets upfield. Almost takes this one to the house. Jason Albright comes up from the safety position. Make the tackle.
17 yards for Ben Schaefer. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Stuckey will take it himself this time. and he'll follow the right side of the line inside the 20, and he's got it in the red zone for the first time again since that first quarter. Remember, Marion Local had really one big opportunity, and they threw to the goal line to Dan Mulder, and it was knocked away by Jason Albright on a 4th down play. That's been it, folks.
I feel like Coach Goodwin and his staff really said some words about moving the football on the ground at halftime to their players.
Schaefer finds another hole inside the 15-yard line.
Tackled on the backside by Vinny Ritchie and Kyle McElfresh. I'll tell you, those two, if they don't make the play, Schaefer's cutting this one back and taking it all the way to the end zone. Good pursuit on the backside by Shadyside, but Marion Local continues to move the ball.
Well, Tim Goodwin must have challenged that offensive line. It's 3rd down, and of course, Marion Local 5 of 9 on 3rd down in the ball game, and they'll pitch it this time. Ben Schaefer down to almost the 10-yard line, plenty for a 1st down. And getting up off the stack is Kyle McElfresh, the defensive end. This is a very impressive drive, Greg.
It really is. I think at halftime there was a lot of words said about what it took to get to this situation, what they're going to have to do to win this football game.
Going to be a timeout taken by Shadyside with 7:06 to play here in the 3rd quarter. No score, but Marion Local driving. You're watching the Weekend of Champions on ONN. Marion Local on the drive at the 11-yard line, 1st and 10. They can go to a 1st down and before they can get to the end zone. Schaefer is the back deepest in the eye. He'll get the call. Sidesteps down to about 8-yard line, and that's where it'll be 2nd down. You know, Tim Goodwin, boy, he had a decision to make, along with Mark Oddie, their big tailback, and here's his thoughts on what they would do without Mark Oddie.
You know, we're confident that, you know, we're still going to be playing our same guys up front. You know, we got some good athletes we're going to be handing the ball to. It's just they don't have 2,000 yards, you know, to their name that Mark had. So, you know, in that regard, you know, it's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking.
Ben Schaefer's got 7 carries for 40 yards. Stuckey gets it this time. Powers his way down inside the 5. They keep the drive going and the play going too as Stuckey gets all the way to about the 1-yard line.
We've got to give a lot of credit to Ben Schaefer, certainly for running the football as we see the replay. Good job pushing upfield, and Shadyside's not going to let him in the end zone easy, I promise you that, but it just seems to me that Marion Local's got a lot of momentum on this drive, and they're going to put the ball in the end zone.
3rd down and 1. And on this drive, they have converted all 3 of their 3rd downs. They can get a first without a touchdown, but they would like the TD. The dive by Holman, and he broke the plane. Touchdown. Marion Local strikes first.
Excellent drive. Nice poise and patience by the offense there, and a great push by the offensive line the whole way down the field. Luke Holman's the one that puts it in the end zone, but Chris Stuckey, Ben Schaefer, and Luke Holman all doing a nice job running the football, and they're the first ones to put points on the board.
Stuckey will hold, and Dan Forkamp will kick it, and it is letter perfect. Timeout on the field, 5 minutes and 43 seconds to play, and I'll tell you what, this was a long time coming, Greg.
It really has. Both teams struggle in the first half, but Luke Holman gets over the top, and Marion Local comes out in the second half with a lot of resolve.
They come right out of the locker room, and they go on a big-time drive as you take a look at it from the end zone. And honestly, the extra point was just as important, too, because of the wind. And they scored with the wind behind number 25, Luke Holman, 6 foot, 190-pound junior. There is the scoring drive of 6 minutes and 17 seconds on 65 yards and 13 plays. And of course, the 1-yard run by Luke Holman to get it into the end zone. More scores, highlights, and analysis than any place else in Ohio. Track games from your backyard and across the state every week. The Grange Insurance Sports Site returning in January every Friday night on ONN, Ohio's channel for high school sports. So now it's Shadyside's turn to answer. Camp kicks it high and somewhat short, and it's out of bounds. And that ball's going to drop at the 8-yard line across the way.
You can see how strong the wind is in that direction. It just pulled that ball right out of bounds. And good job by Nathaniel Haney to let that one go because they'll get it at the 35.
Yeah, and you know what? How about all running plays on that 13-play drive?
Well, I think at halftime they probably said, look, we're not going to have a lot of success throwing the football. Let's run the football, get the offensive line doing what they've done all year long. And Ben Schaefer really stepped up on that drive. The holes were there, and he did a nice job holding on to the football and seeing the holes.
So here's Billy Merriman. And it's a direct snap that time to Josevic, and he is cut down at the 35-yard line, no gain. Direct snap to the tailback, Taylor Josevic.
Guess who's there to tackle? Ben Schaefer. Shadyside's got to find an answer. As you see Josevic get the football, but they got to find an answer for the blitzing linebackers by Marion Local. They've done it probably about 90% of the snaps today, and I'm sure they'll continue to do it. But Shadyside, as we've talked about, they got to find a way to get outside or to get somebody, one of their skill guys, in space.
Second down from the 35. Josevic goes in motion, and Merriman to throw underneath, and that's incomplete. A lot of pressure on him to get rid of that football, or he was going to get sacked.
He was trying to find his tight end, Michael Mentel, on the right-hand side. He also had Josevic in the flat with a curl route behind that, but not enough time to make a read and really get rid of it. He was forced to throw it a little bit more sooner than he wanted to. You see the pressure from the backside. Nothing there. And that's going to be 44 Ben Schaefer again, getting through.
I'll tell you what, Ben Schaefer has played both sides of the ball very, very well in this football game. 2 for 7 on third down for Shadyside in the ball game. Everybody up front. Josevic's going to try and throw it. The left-hander, Haney's out there. He dropped the football. He had it in his hands. A little bit of razzle-dazzle. Josevic with a good throw into the wind. And Jason Albright cannot come down with the football.
Well, I love the call. He had Albright open downfield. That's the play that they've run a couple times in the playoffs. He's left-handed, so it looks like it's toss sweep to the left. It's there, puts the ball up in the air, and again, it's like trying to catch a knuckleball, and it hits Albright right there in the numbers.
Being a former quarterback, you probably thought, oh my, and your eyes water up on that one.
But I do realize how hard it is to catch the ball when it hangs like that on a day like today.
Merriman with a line drive kick. I think everybody's going to get away from that ball.
Let it
go. Yeah, inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line, and that's where the Flyers, who are representing the Midwest Athletic Conference, of course, St. Henry is here as well. Both of these teams going for state championships from the same league. Tonight's game is the outcome of months of hard work by Ohio's best student athletes, and the Ohio High School Athletic Association reminds you to respect the game because high school athletics are important and valuable to Ohio's teenagers. 39-yard punt, no return, 7-0 Marian Local. They have the ball, and they'll pound Schaefer again as they take it from their own 26-yard line. He'll get to about the 29, a gain of 3.
We talk about that MAC conference, certainly a very impressive conference. St. Henry will play tomorrow for the D5 crown. But you look at the Marian Local schedule this year, they've got 2 losses. Guess who? Coldwater, who won last year in D4, and then you've got St. Henry, who's playing tomorrow for the D5 state championship. Pretty impressive.
And it's amazing, St. Henry, I don't know what happened on that night, but they won 31-0. And Marian Local is a very solid football team, but they just couldn't dent the end zone.
Well, that's early in the season, too.
Right.
They certainly responded since then.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, what a hit. A big-time hit right at the 30-yard line as Ben Schaefer took it up in there.
Dustin Sladlowski, again, his linebacker position comes up and lays the wood. And of course, Taylor Joseph in on the play as well. We'll see if Shadyside's got to show some courage here. Got to get the ball back, and they've got to find a way to move the football. They've just been unable to do anything offensively.
Well, they almost had a halfback pass work.
They wanted to throw the football coming into the game. We talked to Coach Fleming, and they kind of had to scrap that game plan given the weather conditions.
4-man line. Here's the third down play. Stuckey puts it on his hip. Comes to the near sideline to throw the little toss, and it's incomplete to Damon Berkey, the tight end. Good coverage out there. Jason Albright was there.
Excellent coverage by the Shadyside defense. It's a counter boot action. They're going to fake the counter to the field. They're going to roll to the short side. He'll have a fullback in the flat and a tight end dragging. You can see Berkey coming across, and he is not open. Well covered. And guess who's covered it? Number 40, Josephic.
He was right there with it. So now Shadyside will drop back in punt formation, and Garrick will kick it away. Good kick with the wind. Sadlowski with the ball tries to make a move, and he is wrapped up and dropped right in his tracks at the 34-yard line. Sadlowski was right there, had a chance, but could not make a move. So now it's up to the Tiger offense. This is solid.
That's a great catch, I'll tell you that. I think that's the first punt we've seen caught all day long. Luke Comans, number 25, coming in there and making a nice shoestring tackle and holding on for dear life.
Now the punt game has been an adventure. So is the rest of this game, including a power outage in the first half. Saw a transformer get shocked. It's crazy. Merriman to throw, and it's incomplete. He had his wide receiver, Nathaniel Haney, over there. He's got a lot of speed. Came into the ball game with 75 catches, the junior. And this, if they're going to be successful, they seem like they want to run this route.
Well, I like the spread formation there. They go with 5 receivers and spread out Marian Local, and that's the first time Marian Local has not blitzed in the second half. So I think they've found a formation that they can be successful out of, and they're not going to get blitzed defensively, but Haney does not hang on to the football.
6 for 14 for just 39 yards. 39 yards, that's all, but they continue to want to throw the football, and this one is deep and incomplete. And I tell you what, we were talking before the broadcast, Greg, about just how do you throw the football into the wind, and that ball sailed on Billy Merriman.
It's important, obviously, to throw a tight spiral up. If you throw a spiral, it's going to cut through the wind, but if you can get the nose down a little bit, it'll bite through the wind, as you talked about. It's gusty, though, too, and it's swirling down there, so it's no matter if you throw a good ball, it can still flutter. But they try to throw the backside post to Josephic, and well covered defensively by Marian Local.
Billy Merriman has not completed his last 4 passes.
But I think this is the game plan they really wanted to go to that they're showing right now. They're spreading the field. They're going to let him throw it.
Merriman to throw near sideline, and it's incomplete and out of bounds. They tried to get the ball to Josephic on the near sideline.
And good pressure by Justin Schulte and Ben Schaefer, forcing Merriman to throw it a little bit before he wanted to, but good coverage downfield as well. Really nobody open.
Second straight 3 and out for Shadyside, who has really not moved the football much at all here in the third quarter. 2:55 to play.
As we see this game evolve, Tim, I think you see the strength of Marian Local and Shadyside. I think it's starting to get worn down a little bit. They're going to struggle moving the football, and I believe that Marian Local can get it done off the offensive line.
Josephic with the boot that particular time, and it's caught at the 42-yard line. 2:49 to play. Flyers with the ball, 7-0 they lead. The Buckeye State bleeds scarlet and gray, and O&N is the place to be for OSU fans. Only O&N covers the Buckeyes all year long with Buckeye Blitz, whether it's football, basketball, or hockey. The Buckeyes are in the national spotlight, and only O&N gives you the inside scoop on the team. Don't miss Buckeye Blitz each week on O&N. First down from the Marian Local 42-yard line. Chris Stuckey is going to throw for it. He's got one-on-one coverage and a man, and it's caught. Moeller will take it all the way and score for the Flyers. Touchdown, Marian Local, 57 yards.
What a great throw by Chris Stuckey and a nice route by Dan Moeller. Got behind the secondary, and Stuckey put that one on the money. And I want to say, Stuckey saved the field position. He's the one that caught the punt on the play before. You don't see them from the quarterback position, but he might have saved them 20 yards of field position, which allowed them offensively to get aggressive, to try to go up top with a post. Great two-play series there for Chris Stuckey.
Dan Moeller with his 5th touchdown catch of the season. He had one-on-one coverage, and it went for 57 yards. Dan Fortkamp had the extra point, low snap, but he gets it away, and it is good. 2:40 to play here in the third quarter. 57-yard touchdown pass, and here it is.
Well, they fake the ISO, and they're just going to throw backside post. He throws it on time, and it's a great route. Gets behind the secondary, gets behind Nathaniel Haney, and off to the races. Great concentration there, catching the football in this win.
That ball was just floating all over the place. It was a tight spiral, though, but a good catch by Dan Moeller, and that is Stuckey's 14th touchdown pass of the season.
And I would say excellent play calling there. That's the one position you can be in to throw the post. It's a little bit downwind right there, and that ball's not going to sail on you. And great execution by quarterback and receiver.
Now, Marian Local gets the ball to start this second half with the win, and they have scored 2 times. Now, 2:40 to play here in this third quarter. Shadyside, if they can muster any kind of offense at all, it would be to their advantage if they can get it into the end zone, because they get the win for the fourth quarter.
That's right, and we've seen in the last series, they tried to spread it out a little bit and throw the football. Very difficult into the win, but as you said, they're going to get the win to start the fourth quarter. They're going to have to throw the football, especially now they're down 14 points.
Well, Shadyside has had 2 drives here in this third quarter and only had the ball for 1 minute and 19 seconds. They're going to make, I think, the Flyers kick it again. So Ty Fleming, 20 years at Shadyside, is up against a guy he knows quite a bit about. He's Marion Local Flyers, and there is the scoring time. That is 9 seconds on the scoring drive, 56 yards, just one play.
Well, Coach Goodwin talked about at halftime. He felt like 1 or 2 plays would be the difference in the game, and I think certainly that play, when we look at it here, when the game's over in about a half hour, I think that play is really going to stand out, because a 7-point lead is significant with the win like this, but 2 touchdowns is almost insurmountable. Is it blowing? Yes.
I'm surprised we haven't had more of that.
Yeah, it goes down again.
Yeah, somebody's got to hold it.
You got to hold it.
Dan Fortkamp just can't keep it on the tee. We've had an adventure with the win today, not only on the field, but telecast as well.
And who comes out the hole but Chris Stuckey. He catches the punt. He throws the touchdown. On the extra point, the snap is low. He picks it up, does a nice job getting the hold down. Excellent job, and now he's going to hold. This is 4 plays in a row. Stuckey's making a difference. He's picking up the load left by Marcotti.
Well, this one is squibbed on the ground, and it's picked up by Joseph back at the 9-yard line. And he'll fall down at about the 17-yard line, and that's where Shadyside will put it in play. 1st and 10, their 3rd possession here in this third quarter, and they have yet to get a positive yard. And that is a couple of factors. Number one, they've thrown the football and haven't converted. But number two, the defense has really been forceful for the Flyers.
Marian Local certainly asserted itself in the second half. They took the opening drive and went down and scored on a 1-play drive with a big pass last series. And they've been extremely aggressive. They continue to be aggressive defensively.
Under center this time, and there is just a little counter, and Dustin Sadlowski cannot get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they tried to run the counter trap to the backside. They're grasping at this point, and there's just too many white shirts in the way defensively for the Flyers.
Flyers are 3 yards into the backfield.
They're getting a lot of penetration. They've committed to blitzing their linebackers all game long, and they've always have 1 or 2 white shirts in the backfield unblocked. And yet at this point, Shadyside has not had an answer offensively.
2nd down. Merriman gets out of the pressure, and he cannot find an open receiver, and it's incomplete. Mentel was the intended receiver, the tight end, trying to come to the near sideline. Boy, it's so tough to throw this out route.
Well, he's forced out of the pocket, so he can't get his feet set. And you add in the mixture of the wind right now. That's a tough throw. Mentel was open, but Merriman unable to complete the throw.
So this will be the 9th play for Shadyside here in this third quarter, and they have been shut out so far. They have not been able to move the football.
And this is tough on a quarterback here. 3rd and 12, you got the wind in your face, you're down 2 scores, you got to make a play, and this is quite difficult.
Minute 49 to play in the third. They load up the right side, and it's incomplete. They tried to throw the ball to the short man out of the backfield, and that is Sadlowski, and Dustin had it at his feet, and then once again, Shadyside will have to turn it over.
But that's what happens when you pressure a quarterback continually, and Merriman was unable to get his feet set, and he threw the ball low to Sadlowski. They think they tried to slip him out of the backfield late, and looked like he might have had 5 or 6 yards, but he was not going to get the first down.
They had a few blockers on that side because they loaded up the short side or the boundary side. Billy Merriman will kick it away from his own 5-yard line, and this is a line drive. It's not a bad kick.
It's a touch, though.
Is it touched? I think Shadyside got it, but
Marian Local recovered it.
Yep. It'll be Marian Local football back in their own territory, but that ball looked like it was touched about the 42-yard line.
I want to say, yeah, number 7, Zach Rosenbeck, was in coverage, and I think he saw the ball coming at him and reached for it, which is a no-no. And fortunately, Marian Local able to, you see number 7 there, Zach Rosenbeck, goes after the ball, and now it's anybody's ball at this point.
Yeah, he sure did. He got his hand on that football.
And Nathaniel Haney had it in his hands and couldn't hang on. That was the play that Shadyside needed.
That was like a rugby ball when it was just bouncing around. And Schaefer, positive yards. He moves it into the Tiger territory, into about the 48-yard line, and once again popping up off the stack is Vinny Ritchie.
Well, Ben Schaefer's a big guy. I mean, he plays defensive end, but he's, from a tailback standpoint, 6'1". He's doing a great job seeing the holes, and he's putting his head down and really doing an excellent job filling in for Mark Oddie.
You know, he's only a junior, so, and Oddie's the senior, so chances are this is a prelude to what they're going to see next year. Stuckey off the left side, very close to a first down. He will have it if the spot of the ball is at the 41-yard line, and he got into the secondary that time.
Well, we've talked about the battle of attrition in this game, and certainly Ty Fleming is seeing this game start to slip away from him, which is his worst nightmare, that Marian Local starting to control the line of scrimmage and run the football, and Ty Fleming's offense has really struggled. They've not been able to get it going, running the football or throwing it, and he's down 14-0. Marian Local's driving. Something's got to happen here to keep him in the game.
That is a first down. Marian Local has had the wind at their back in this third quarter, and they have owned the third quarter.
Ben Schaefer, as we talked about, 14 carries for 65 yards.
Mark Oddie started in the ball game, and for those fans of Marian Local, yes, he did play. He carried the ball 3 times for 6 yards, and the knee just wouldn't let him continue. So Schaefer's been in there ever since, and he'll get it again. Turns the shoulders the right way and just keeps on his feet inside the 35, and he'll go down at the 34-yard line.
He's running with a lot of confidence. He's got the forward lean, which I like to see out of a tailback. He's always getting the extra couple yards. He did a great job keeping his feet in bounds there. He looked like he was going to get 3 yards, and he ended up getting 5 more.
And that will do it for the third quarter. It has been all Marian Local here in this third quarter, and they lead it by 2 touchdowns. 14-0 Flyers over the Tigers. Back with a fourth in a moment. This is ONN, Ohio's channel for high school sports. Ready for the fourth quarter in the Division 6 state championship game. Marian Local up by 2 touchdowns. Has the ball 2nd and 2 from the 34 of Shadyside. And the pitch goes to Schaefer. He will get outside, turn the corner at the 30, and it's a first down as he will get to the 22-yard line. And Ben Schaefer has done a tremendous job here, Greg, as he has filled in for Mark Oddie.
Does a nice job cutting back there. You know, it's impressive. As the second half has worn on, he's really doing a nice job running the ball a little better. He's seeing the holes. I think the offensive line is also really opening up the holes. Talk about an opportunity. You never know sometimes when you're the number 2 guy, you're one play away. And Adi tried to give it a go, wasn't able to do it, and Ben Schaefer stepping up.
86 yards for Ben Schaefer in the ballgame on 13 carries. Or 16 carries, I'm sorry. He got 13 on the last one. Tom Bochenik, our crack statistician here. He's actually worked both games today on ONN. He made the trip over from Massillon. We are glad to have him. This is the first time we've worked together this year. It's fun. He's our main man. 2nd down and 7 from the 18-yard line. Power formation for Marian Local. They have really done it on the ground here in the second half, and Holman will get it again. Got through the line, crossed the 15 to about the 13. Somehow, he got that big body and made himself small.
Well, and that hole was opened up by left guard number 51, Brian Schulte. You see him pull, and Holman follows through. Schulte does a good job taking on the defender, and Holman he just kind of turned enough to get through that seam and get positive yardage.
Second half has been all Flyers. Once again, they go with a power formation with the 2 tight ends, and Schaefer dives for and maybe just a bit short. Look at the line judge over there. He looks like he's walking in just short of the first down. But 4th down, this is 4-down territory for either team. And Marian Local now, 4th down and a short 2, long 1.
It appeared to me that he got more yards than that, but his knee must have been down. Good job defensively by the linebacking crew for Shadyside. This is a must stop for the Shadyside defense.
So once again, they come up in the power, but this is a split back formation. Everybody tight. They give it to Holman. Keeps the drive and legs driving, and he will get the first down. A good effort. Yeah, John Krupka was right there, had him, but he had him high. Couldn't bring him down.
Yeah, just run the belly. And then you see him trying to stretch the ball out to get the first down. Great effort.
Tim Goodwin has really gone to the power game here in the second half. I don't think they've thrown a pass.
And they don't need to. They're really doing a good job up front with the offensive line, opening up holes.
Schaefer, outside he goes, inside the 5. Once again, Krupka makes the tackle, but not before Schaefer is about 3 yards from the goal line.
Well, I'm really impressed with Ben Schaefer the more I watch him here. This play's designed to go up the middle. He bounces it outside like a veteran back's going to do. Drags a couple Shadyside defenders with him, including Jason Albright, and almost took that one to the end zone.
Well, they're closing in on 100 yards rushing.
And he's just running determined right now. This is impressive. And I like that, when a guy like Adi goes down, somebody else has got to pick up the slack, and Chris Stuckey and Ben Schaefer have done that.
10 plays in the drive, 8:36 to go in the ball game. Schaefer tried to go outside that time. Josephik says, no way, you're not getting to the line of scrimmage. That's my goal line, and he did not allow him to even get back to the line of scrimmage.
Vinny Ritchie gets the initial penetration here. Number 71 gets a hand on him, and Josephik comes in and finishes it. But that's all Vinny Ritchie from his defensive tackle position. Number 71, 5'11", 250 senior, and quick.
Yeah, first time in the ball game that Schaefer has been dropped behind the line of scrimmage. He's been a good back.
I really like this D-line and linebacking crew for Shadyside. They're outmatched today because they got to go more snaps, but these guys are quick and they get after it.
All kinds of movement, and penalty flags come down. And honestly, this has been a very clean football game.
It really has. Well, you got kids that are playing in a nice rhythm. Both teams are coming in here on a roll.
This is only the 3rd penalty of the ball game. And they'll march it back 5 yards.
False start against the offense. Still 3rd down.
Yeah, backs moving early.
Both backs.
Holman's been doing that a lot in the second half. He starts to lean on a lot of the plays. getting away with it for the most part until now.
First offensive penalty in the ball game, 3rd overall.
It should be clean at this point. You know,
Oh,
played. This is your 15th game of the season. Teams are very much in a groove.
Now they go to the spread formation. Berkey split wide to the right side. He's the tight end. I formation for Stuckey. And they'll give it to Schaefer again. He will find some running room back down to about the 6. And now a decision to be made. Coming right through the hole. Not much running room for Schaefer that time, but enough to get down to the 6. And now it's 4th down. And do you kick a field goal here?
I believe that you do. It's close enough. The wind is coming. It's in your face from the left. It's going to be a challenging kick, but you're close enough. 22-yard field goal attempt, I believe. You should be able to make this.
So Dan Fortcamp will try to put 3 on the board from the far hash. Strong leg, and that was good. A 22-yard field goal into the wind. And that tacks 3 more on the board for the Flyers, and now they lead 17-0 here in the 4th quarter.
And I would argue that's pretty much going to be the dagger in the heart for Shadyside. Great execution by Fortcamp, great hold by Stuckey. They pick up the 3 points, a nice drive. They burn up some more clock, and now the Tigers are forced to really get something going offensively, which they have not been able to do at all in the 3rd quarter.
Ohio's high school sports are second to none. Now O&N showcases them each week with Varsity Ohio. It's the state's only weekly show that focuses all on varsity sports, large and small. Join the O&N sports team Wednesdays as they explore the features in the state of the state's best athletes. Varsity Ohio, only on O&N, Ohio's channel for high school sports. Did I see a little smile from Tim Goodwin?
I'd be smiling if I were him. His defense is playing well. His offensive line is getting it done, and Ben Schaefer's stepped up in a huge way in replacement of Mark Otte.
State champions in 01 and also in 2000, runner-up in 2003. This Marian Local team has turned it up a notch here in the 2nd half. And I think with the win, they established the line of scrimmage, and they also established the running game in the 3rd quarter, and that's been the difference.
Well, I think ever since the power outage, they've really, they've responded. I think that had a lot to do with it.
Josephik back deep. And an end-over-end kick. It comes up a little short, and it's picked up by an up man. And at the 20 to the 30-yard line, that's where John Krupka goes. And he will take it down to about the 33-yard line. Let's go down to the sidelines. Here's Dave Shadowski.
Guys, Marion Local is about 6 minutes away from their 3rd state title. You know, that is what they play for. All schools say that, but they really have to believe it. They play in the mighty MAC, and they don't even win conferences that often, being a Division VI school. They know it's tough to win the conference, so they set their sights on this. So losses to Coldwater and St. Henry, it doesn't deter them during the season, and that's why they're here now. They get a 6th seed into the playoffs, and they're ready, and they're about to raise the trophy again.
And they are turning it up defensively, too. Thanks, Dave. No running room at all for Taylor Josephik. That's Schaefer again. Man, he has played on both sides of the ball. That's just his 2nd carry of the 2nd half.
And that shows me Ty Fleming's frustration. They tried throwing the ball quite a bit on the last series, all for naught. So, they're down 3 scores, and they're running ISO with 6 minutes left to go in the state final.
Loss of 4 on that play. Now the spread formation. This used to be their offense. Now they're going to go deep with it, and it is incomplete. They tried to get the ball to Josephik down the sidelines. It'll be 3rd down.
I think they feel like they can get him isolated on the weak side. They've got trips to the right side, Josephik to the left, and really well covered 2 defenders on Josephik. Marion Local knows he's a guy that you can't let get free in the secondary. I would almost think you've got to use him as a decoy and throw the wide side of the field to the trips formation.
Shadyside went to more of the power game with Josephik this season, and he responded with over 1,100 yards, 27 touchdowns. But they have been in the past a team that can throw it all over the yard. And Merriman's going to try and look for somebody to throw it to, and he's not going to have enough time, and he is sacked. And once again, those front four are in there, and Schaefer comes up with a big play. Third sack of the game.
Well, Schaefer's done it on the offensive side of the ball. We've said that quite a bit to be redundant, but now he's going to get it done on the defensive side of the ball. Pretty good pressure. They're going to bring 5. Schaefer does a nice spin move, and he's there. Gets his arms on the thigh of Merriman and takes him down.
Shadyside will have to kick it. Marion with a high snap, and with the wind does not get a good kickoff at all, but it will have a decent roll. Now it's a good roll, and it'll be an excellent roll if it keeps going.
Keep blowing it.
And the ball will roll all the way down to the 33-yard line for a 47-yard punt. All right, we're at Fawcett Stadium in the fourth quarter. Back with more on O&N in a moment. Marian Local, who has scored 40 or above in 3 of the 4 playoff games, has got 17 today, and that's yeoman's work in these conditions, and they lead it 17-0 over the Tigers. And it'll be Marian Local football when we resume. And Tim Goodwin, who has a couple of state championships to his name in 9 years, 86 wins. The Finley grad is 86-24, and Shadyside with Ty Fleming, my goodness, he's in his second stint with the Tigers, and he's amassed 145 wins, and he has certainly a great football team, a very positive and good, solid defensive line, but it was Marian Local who took control of the ball game in the third quarter by a big offensive line surge, and that has been the difference as they pounded it down on a 65-yard drive and also a 56-yard one-play bomb with the wind. But I think one of the big plays was the field goal just a moment ago, 22 yards.
Well, it was big, but I think a 14-point lead at this point. Shadyside is at zero positive yards in the third quarter, as well as some negative plays. And you see in the second half, Marian Local was getting it done. Really, it starts with the offensive line. Stugie's done a nice job. Ben Schaefer's really stepped it up, but the O-line, to me, has really done a great job.
Stuckey will take it himself and get popped right about the 35-yard line on that second down play from the 35-yard line. And,
you can still hear the hitting down there.
And Chris is only a junior. I mean, between Stuckey and Schaefer, that's a pretty solid backfield. And actually, Holman's only a junior too. So this Marian Local team with a lot of experience, but they will all be back in that backfield.
No doubt. I think, again, if you've got juniors like that can step up for big games, you can't say enough about the program and what Coach Goodwin has done for these guys to put them in an opportunity to succeed.
They've been in this power formation the entire second half. As Schaefer will get to about the 40-yard line. He is very close to 100 yards on the day, but he'll be short of it there. So he had 97 yards before that particular play. That's his 22nd carry of the ball game. He'll stay out there. I don't think he's come off the field. No. I mean, he's been there offensively, defensively, and he's on special teams as well. And he's just at 100 yards with that carry. 22 carries and 100 yards. That's a big-time kick right there.
Into the wind. Oh, look at this. Going to go all the way down inside the 5.
Greg Garrett, I should say, knocks it down to about the 2-yard line, and that's where it'll be covered. So Shadyside's got 98 yards to go. A 57-yard kick into the wind.
He fell down after he kicked it, but got the job done.
The weather in Ohio is constantly changing. Boy, we've seen that today. Stay ahead of the storm with O&N's weather on the 10s. Get current conditions and find out what's in store with the fastest storm tracking system in the state. DopplerNet radar. Radar weather on the 10s, and certainly it's in news programming every day on ONN. So today has been one of those days you need it. Not much running room at all inside as Josephik gets positive yardage to about the 3, maybe the 4-yard line. They're going to mark it on the 3.
Well, Ty Fleming's group is going to come up a little bit short, but I think you got to give them a lot of credit. His coaching staff and his players for the playoff runs they've had. They've had a great run. They beat Lower City. They beat Bealsville 71-0. They beat a very solid Danville team 31-6. And I think shocked Mogadore last week 45-7. I don't think Mogadore saw that one coming.
Well, and last week against Mogadore, here's the ball thrown deep and it's incomplete. One of the things, they pulled their starters in the third quarter against Mogadore last week, and that to me shows some dominance. And Ty Fleming said after the Danville game, they played an excellent game there, but they felt like, could they play better? Yes, they did play better.
Well, they had a big second quarter last week against Mogadore to really spread the game and get up by a couple scores, and Josephik ran a kickback. I believe it was the opening kickoff in the third quarter, really put that game out of reach. So these guys have had a great run. They have nothing to be ashamed of. A very solid effort this year.
It was 87 yards the opening kickoff of the second half. Josephik gets a little bit of running room here, and it's going to be the first positive play in the second half for Shadyside. They have had a big-time struggle. They did not throw the ball well in the third quarter, and it has been a very tough Flyers defense here in the fourth quarter.
You would expect that out of a Marion Local defense, or any team out of the MAC for that matter, but these guys are going to represent today. They're going to get it done.
So it's going to be short of a first down, and Billy Merriman is going to have to kick it away. We're going to see a lot of second and third teamers, I think, here for the rest of this one. And that's not a bad kick at all. Fair catch caught by Stuckey at about the 47-yard line, and that's where Marian Local will take over first and 10. The Division VI state championship game is copyrighted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. This telecast may not be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of the OHSAA Commissioner or ONN Television.
And I want to say that Mark Audie's in the backfield on what appears to be the last series of the game.
And they'll take it up the middle to Holman, and it is Mark Audie in the backfield. And our Grange Insurance most valuable player is Ben Schaefer. Big day for him, 100 yards. Grange Insurance is proud to make a $500 donation in the name of Ben Schaefer to the General Scholarship Fund at Marian Local High School. He did it on both sides of the ball. Ben Schaefer, what a great performance for him, our Grange MVP.
Tremendous effort, and Coach Goodwin gets drenched on the sideline.
Right on cue. That's live, folks, and a smile on his face.
That's a cold one.
Marian Local taking a championship trophy back to Mercer County. 22 seconds left, and they'll take a knee. And that will be the football game as Marian Local will be celebrating a championship. 9 seconds left as the clock will tick. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This ball game is over. Marian Local has defeated Shadyside for the Division VI state championship. Final 17-0. Marian Local, with a tremendous effort in the third quarter, comes away with a victory.
Well, they woke up in the third quarter. I think they had a great speech at halftime by Coach Goodwin. They woke up in the third quarter with 14 points, and very classy. You see Ty Fleming runs right across the field to Tim Goodwin. They're friends, they're buddies, and congratulates Tim Goodwin on his third state championship.
They won it in 2000. In 2001, and now in 2006.
Yep, got him.
And Mac, let's go down to the field. Here's Dave.
Coach Goodwin third state title, but this is the first with these guys. It's a special feeling right now.
It is. These kids are great. You know, that was a hard-fought game under adverse conditions, you know, both physically and the weather. You know, I'm proud of our kids, and Shadyside, they played a great game too.
Third quarter, the difference. You guys really came out and stuck it to them on the ground game, and your defense relentless.
Right. You know, our defense has played well all year, and you know, with these conditions, if they were unable to pass effectively, you know, but everyone has struggled really against us running.
How about Schaefer, too, to come out and have a game like that to fill in for Mark Audie? What a gutty performance by him.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm proud of him. You know, that's a tough situation for a kid to be in. You know, he probably had 10 carries all year, and he's, you know, toting the mail all game long here. So, you know, what a great job by him.
It's got to just feel great to look up to see the fans and the community and your guys and just know you're taking the title home.
Yeah, we have a great community. It's a great school. It's a great place to be.
All right, congratulations. Guys, back up to you.
Third state championship for Marian Local, and there's something about that league and just being over in Western Ohio. It's crazy to say, but it starts with family and community. But and they've got a strong one.
But it's very impressive. You know, I've seen a number of these teams play. As we talked about, we get to see St. Henry play tomorrow. But these guys have represented their community quite well. They support their football program immensely, and it shows when you look at the sideline. You've got so many players on the sideline. They're committed to their football program, and they produce winners.
That is for sure. 17-0 the final. We'll come back with the trophy presentation in just a moment. You're watching ONN, Ohio's channel for high school sports. Marian Local wins the Division VI championship game here under trying conditions at Fawcett Stadium, adjacent to the Pro Football Hall of Fame here in Canton, Ohio. And just a great effort, especially in the third quarter. A short run by Luke Holman capped a 65-yard drive. And then Dan Moeller comes up with a 57-yard touchdown catch. Dan Fortkamp a 22-yard field goal. And, boy, you got to feel for Shadyside, who had just a great run to get here. Great champions out of Eastern Ohio, and yet the Marian Local Flyers came up with a big third quarter to put it away.
Well, I think defensively, Marian Local stepped up in the third quarter as well. In the second half, Shadyside had 5 possessions. 5 of those were 3 and out, for -5 total yards.
Let's go to Dwayne Warren's assistant commissioner.
Tigers from Shadyside. What a great run we have. You guys were the first in your school's history to play for the state championship. And these people are proud of you. I know, boys, you're a little disappointed at this moment. You travel back to Belmont County, get those heads up, and be proud of what you've done. You've accomplished a lot. Men, there are no losers on this field today, only champions, and you're champions too. Now, on behalf of the Ohio High School Athletic Association, it's a privilege for me to present to you the state runner-up trophy for Division VI Shadyside Tigers. Congratulations. Coach, congratulations. What a great year you had. It's a great job.
Ty, congratulations. You had a great year.
Championship trophy to come, but that's the state runner-up, Shadyside High School in Division VI. They should be proud of their accomplishments.
They should. They've had a great run this year. Came up a little bit short today, but an impressive effort.
Now for the champions, Marian Local.
To the Flyers from Marion Local, state champions again. You young men come from a school and a community with a rich tradition. And you've upheld that tradition again this year.
And those people are proud of you. With your play during your tournament, you've earned the right
for the rest of your lives to be called state champions. Nobody can take it away from you. Now on behalf of our board and all of our member schools, it's a privilege to present the 2006 State Championship Trophy.
State champions again, 13-2. The record for Marian Local, and what a sight. Tears of joy from this community, from Mercer County, who has had that trophy before, and they bring it home again in 2006.
13-2, and their two losses are to Coldwater and St. Henry for the MAC Conference. What's that tell you about the strength of the MAC Conference again this year?
And St. Henry from the MAC will be here tomorrow at 11 a.m. to play JFK out of Warren, and they would like to get one as well. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more from Fawcett Stadium in Canton, Ohio in just a moment. The vs.6 champions are the Marian Local Flyers. Back with more on ONN. Welcome back, and you see the euphoria down on the field as Marian Local celebrates a championship. It's always a great time when the cameras come out and everybody wants in the picture with that trophy. Oh, what a title time for Marian Local, and Tim Goodwin comes up with a big championship, and there's the main man, Ben Schaefer, and here's your final statistics brought to you by Blumenberg Eye Center. And that second half surge of 187 yards shows right there with the total yardage by the Flyers of 220 yards in the ball game.
160 yards rushing for Marian Local and only 17 yards rushing for Shadyside, and really were totally shut down by the Marian Local defense in the second half, as you mentioned. So really a dominating effort in the second half wins them the Division VI state championship.
Yeah, Shadyside averaged 115 yards on the ground, or I should say 219 yards on the ground during the course of the season. And today they have that big surge in the second half and in the third quarter, and that was the difference of the ball game. And Ben Schaefer with 22 carries, 100 yards for Tim Goodwin. And let's go to the sideline. Here's Dave.
Thanks, guys. Ben Schaefer, you go to bed last night. You don't even know how many times you'll carry the ball. You get to go to bed tonight a state champion and player of the game. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
What was the difference tonight for you guys?
We took us a while to start, but we got it through, and I don't know. We just got more heart then, and that's about it. But
you almost seem like you don't even know how to act right now. Are you kind of in shock?
Oh, I knew we were going to win. But we just had to finish it out.
What does it say for the community and the program you guys have and the rich tradition, another state championship?
It says more about our division, how hard we work, and just how we can outwork and outplay all these other teams.
You don't do this just for yourself. I mean, obviously it is, but this is for the whole MAC.
Yeah, this is for the whole MAC. We had St. Henry plays next tomorrow, and hopefully they win. It's just we're in a good division.
All right, and you're coming back again next year, maybe do it all over again.
Hopefully we do.
All right. Guys, MVP, it was a big game. State champions, back to you.
All right, thank you, Dave, and certainly a great time for Marian Local as they congratulate and slap hands with their fans across the way. All right, we'll be back with more in just a moment from Fawcett Stadium in Canton. You're watching ONN, Ohio's channel for high school sports. Nothing is the final score. Marian Local with the championship. as they beat Shadyside. They get the trophy here this afternoon here at Fawcett Stadium in Canton. And when you look back on it, Greg, I just looked at that third quarter, and I don't know what Tim Goodwin said at halftime, but he had a speech. And it was a resounding speech that I think really motivated these guys to come out, and they took over the ballgame.
They really did. Well, it's about pride and courage and effort, and they've done it all year long. And I think certainly the first half it wasn't happening, but you had to get past the weather and come out and take this state championship by the horns, and they did that in the third quarter with 14 points, and really that was the difference in the ballgame.
Well, the wind and the conditions, I mean, we had the power outage in the first half and all the other things, but I think they just said, forget about all that stuff. Let's just go play football.
They did, and really the offensive line really took control, and certainly Ben Schaefer did a great job running the football in the second half. He ends up with 22 carries for 100 yards and really did a great job filling in for Mark Oddie, and I think it was impressive. Somebody stepped up, as well as you got to throw Chris Stuckey in there from a quarterback position, made a great throw in the third quarter as well, and when those guys step up, when a big player goes down, that's what has to happen to win a state championship.
Well, they've got one. Do you think that St. Henry can come out and maybe make it 2 for 2 again?
Well, St. Henry beat them earlier in the season, so I would argue St. Henry's got a great chance, but that's going to be a good football game tomorrow.
Well, that is Warren JFK tomorrow with this St. Henry team, but Marion Local today brings at least one championship back to Mercer County, and boy, look at those guys.
Well, the MAC conference is certainly impressive. They're used to being here and winning state championships. They're going to get another one today in Division 6. They're third for Coach Tim Goodwin. Very impressive once again.
Well, you think about what has happened here, Greg, and these guys are just celebrating a title, and it means everything to the community and to Maria Stein and all of the great people over there in Mercer County, and you wonder if they could come back and do it again next year.
Well, they've got a lot of juniors on the squad, so it wouldn't surprise me. And you know that picture right there is what it's all about. When these guys practice in June, July, August, this is where they want to be. This is what they dream of, and when you can come here and realize those dreams in Canton on a December 1st on a blustery day, that's what it's all about.
I think we survived. I think that's the way it is, and so did Marian Local this afternoon. Today's game was produced by Phil Paulin and directed by Sam Torrey. The director of programming for ONN is Jason Feaster, and the president and general manager is Tom Griesdorn. The commissioner for the Ohio High School Athletic Association is Dr. Daniel Ross. For my partner Greg Fry and Dave Shadowski, I'm Tim Bray. Thanks for watching ONN. The state champions are Marion Local.